Hello, my name is Manav, and I'm part of the Sabershalla FLL team. Today, we will talk about Chapter 2, How Python Runs Programs. You've already heard Varun's Q&A introducing Python in general, but now we will study how the Python interpreter executes programs in general. So now introducing the Python interpreter. Python is also a software package called an interpreter and not only a programming language. An interpreter is kind of a program that executes other programs, so it's basically in the background. When you write a Python program, the Python interpreter reads your program and carries out the instructions it contains. In effect, the interpreter is basically a layer of software logic between your code and the computer hardware on your machine. The Python virtual machine, also known as PVM. The PVM is just a big code loop that iterates through your bytecode instructions, one by one, to carry out their operations. The PVM is a runtime engine of Python. It's always present as part of the Python system, and it's a component that truly runs your scripts. Technically, it's just the last step of what's called a Python interpreter. Program execution. What it means to write and run a Python script depends on whether you look at these tasks as a programmer or as a Python interpreter. Both views offer important perspectives on Python and programming. The programmer's view. In its simplest form, a Python program is just a text file containing Python statements. The Python's view. You type code into text files, and you run those files through the interpreter. Under the hood, though, a bit more happens when you tell the Python to go. So let's say I want to tell Python to print go. This is how it would basically be. Print go. It prints go. There's more that happens than just printing go. Now, although knowledge of Python internals is not strictly required for Python programming, a basic understanding of the runtime structure of Python can help you grasp the bigger picture of program execution. When you instruct Python to run your script, there are a few steps that Python carries out before your code actually starts crunching away. Specifically, it's first compiled into something called bytecode and then routed to something called a virtual machine. We will get more into that. Bytecode compilation. Internally and almost completely hidden away from you, when you execute a program, Python first compiles your source code. It's basically the statements in your file that you just presented, into a format known as bytecode. Compilation is simply a translation step. And bytecode is a lower level platform independent representation of your source code. Roughly, Python translates each of your source statements into a group of bytecode instructions by decomposing them into individual steps. This bytecode translation is performed to speed execution. Bytecode can be run much more quickly than the original source code statements in your file. So we have basically learned the Python interpreter and how Python executes programs. All in all, in the summary, there is more to do than just typing in a simple word. Python has to go through layers and layers of information to finally print out your statement or do anything, for all I know. Basically, this is all we have talked about. Thank you.